Redditors, what do you regret not doing in high school? I regret spending so much time worrying about what people thought of me. This caused me to be very cautious and risk averse. Turns out, none of it mattered. I could have dated, learned, experienced so much more. High schoolers, ask out that person. Join that club. Take that class. Do that activity that you've been daydreaming about. My life is great. No complaints. But I waited too long to get to this point. You do you is not only reserved for post-high school. It's tough. My parents always tell me what people think doesn't matter, but it's harder than you think as a teenager. Frantically reads through to see what I'm doing wrong. I wish I had stood up more for the kids who were being bullied for no reason. Yes, I agree. I never participated. But I carried enough respect among my peers back then that I could have made a difference by standing up against the bullying. What you don't realize at the time is that besides the fact that no one deserves to be bullied, all of those kids are going to grow up and remember that you did nothing. I feel guilty when I see them on rare occasions. Changing friend groups earlier. Randomly last semester of senior year I just started spending time with new people and it significantly improved my life. I wish I just took the plunge earlier. Yeah. My friend group in freshman year is drastically different from my senior years. Wish I had a friend group. I was a pretty lonely high schooler. Asking out a girl I was probably in love with because I was too shy. We both had the same interests. Had been friends since elementary school. And we could talk for hours about everything and nothing. The worst part was I found out my senior year that she also had a crush on me through her entire sophomore year, but by then she had a long-term boyfriend. In hindsight, she was dropping a ton of pretty obvious signs. I have a girl now. And she has a different boyfriend. So everything turned out fine in the end. But there is still that what if? Yeah. I think I have the same problem. This girl I talk to seems to be dropping hints, but the last time I trusted my gut feeling I got rejected. I was too cool for school and never went to my prom. Never went to any sporting events or pep rallies. Never joined any clubs. Don't be like that. Kids. Socialization is important. Being part of society is important. Even if you don't like the events, you might like the people. Don't assume that the jocks are assholes. Or the cheerleaders are riches. Or the rich kids are snobs. I'm really considering not going to prom this year. It's $400 for a night that I'll prob forget the next week. Do you think you were missing out? Have sex. Get the girl. Go to parties. Like, oh yeah, let me just hop over to the girlfriend store and pick up some party invites on the way back. It's not like any of this is hard for me. Some jerks nominated me for homecoming queen as a joke. You could clearly hear them snickering as they said my name, and I declined. I wish I could go back and accept it. I could be the homecoming queen for the nerds and everyone who ever got nominated as a joke. Yeah. But then they might have carried you. Parties. I got invited to them a lot. But I never got around to actually going. Now I'm in college and still getting invited, but I'm too scared since I don't know anybody here. Edit. I am a super mega introvert. But I'm also nervous that my school is one of the top party schools in the country. And that this one frat known for throwing attending parties is also known for drugging girls' drinks. There's a party almost every night. But I'm not sure how to be safe unless I had friends with me. If you're invited, surely you know at least somebody there. This is poor advice. But with enough alcohol, parties with strangers are the best. It can get boring having parties when you already know everyone. It's repetitive. I regret nothing. Paying attention. Especially in science classes. Chemistry was and is a foreign language to me. I am also shocked that I made it through algebra considering I struggled with math in middle school. Pay attention in class, kids. Don't let your mind wander to imagining what you would do if there was a school shooter or how to seduce your hot AF teacher. I would fantasize about the school shooter scenario so much. Had routes planned out and everything. I think that's just me. As everywhere I go I think up contingency plans for any possible scenario I can think of. Great way to waste time. Mine always involved me suddenly becoming a badass and pulling off some UFC type takedown on the shooter and becoming a hero. Telling her how much I was in love with her before I lost her to my cousin. It's rough to think about the road our siblings chose. But what can you do? Getting a picture of the deer that considered murdering me. I was in a morning detention, before school starts, in the basement. When it was over, I went down the hall and through the breezeway where the bathrooms were. When I left the bathroom, a full-grown buck came charging at me but changed direction last second. Ran down the hall and started ramming lockers. My dean was down there and told me to run to the office to get help. No one believed I was the first to see it. It got in by smashing its way through the glass doors in the breezeway. Going to public school. I was homeschooled from birth through high school. College was the first actual school I went to. I wound up with extreme anxiety and could not handle it. I never had a classroom full of people or a teacher. I never had legit homework with deadlines. I was so unprepared. I basically had to relearn how to learn. It effed me up for a bit. I still have major social anxiety and I'm still learning things at age 30 that I never learned being so sheltered. Also, I have nothing against homeschooling, especially at younger ages. I just think my parents could have done things better. Running cross country. I was my school's baseball manager and when I was a kid, I liked to run. It would have been nice to be on a team. I basically hung out with all the cross country kids anyway, so not much would have changed. I've been running for years, junior now. It's honestly been one of the best things for me because I absolutely hate my school aside from the team. I'm doing dual enrollment next year, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep running or not. Still have a week or two to decide for track. I never had a teenage rebellion phase. I find myself kinda wishing that I had taken risks and tried to have fun while I still had the protection and forgiveness that comes from being a kid. Now, I have much fewer experiences than my peers. My teenage rebellion was deciding to become a doctor. Jerking it more. I mean, I did it like 3 or 4 times a day. But I could have skipped lunch. 3 or 4 times a day consistently? Yeah boy. I couldn't did. Sports. I remember people telling me just go join. You probably won't play in college and it's not the same playing as an adult. High school is the best time to do it. It's really your only opportunity. I really regret not playing team sports. Edit. It is better to have balled and lost than to have never balled at all. Bull is life. 1. Weed up. 2. My hot geometry teacher. He was only 6 years older than me and goddammit. Honestly I wouldn't be too worried. I actually regret smoking weed as much as I did in high school because I did not take school as seriously. My grades suffered. I stopped playing sports that I enjoyed. I could have gotten some nice college scholarships that I ended up not getting. I'm in high school at the moment. And I regret, to this day, not taking Spanish. All of my friends speak Spanish and or come from Spanish speaking families. Except me. My dumb white ass thought French sounded cooler. Back when I was 14. And now as a 17-year-old. I'm realizing how useless 4 years of French really is in the real world. I wish I hadn't skipped classes. I wish I had joined clubs. I wish that I had tried harder to get good grades. I wish I had not focused on being loved like it was my oxygen. I wish I didn't care so much what people thought of me. I wish I had applied myself and got a full ride to college or at least scholarships. I wish I had followed my dream of art school. I wish that I wasn't so emotional about everything. I wish my parents weren't abusive narcissistic alcoholics. But none of that happened. Now I work at a job I don't like and I make $14.75 an hour. I have a husband and a beautiful baby. It all worked out, but I will forever have regrets about high school. I spent all my teen years upset and trying to find a way out of my home instead of following my dreams. Now I can focus on creating a happy loving home for my daughter, so maybe one day she will have the chance to follow her dreams. I regret taking up biology when I could be taking up computer science. I am currently in high school but realized I don't want to work in the medical field, which was the reason I took a second biology class in the first place. Edit, only a sophomore. Will take APCS next year. I was so insecure and shy in high school. I wish I'd been more outgoing. There were so many things I didn't do because it was just that hard to talk to people. I didn't date. I didn't go to prom. I didn't try out for the school play. I especially wish I'd dated in high school so I could have started to understand how to be in a relationship earlier in life. Go to would be more dating. But I was in a small program that made it terrible to be rejected. Plus it didn't help that I was significantly overweight. So probably lose weight earlier honestly. I regret giving a duck what any one of my classmates thought. I wasted so much energy on anxiety because of those duckers and I haven't talked to a single one in 11.5 years. I regret not dating that one friend I had a crush on. But it's okay cause we reconnected sophomore year of college and are now engaged to be married. I regret not trying to bang the younger substitute psychologist that would lock us in her room with blinds up. I just thought about this the other day. I honestly could have if I tried. Even though I'm a junior RN, I regret not trying to get a girlfriend. I always have crushes but suppress my feelings because they are out of my league or we are poles apart, which for the most part is true. I'm the typical metalhead introvert. I like sitting in back doing my work with my headphones on, not talking. There isn't anybody at my school who would date me and I absolutely hate my school anyway. I got really close to switching schools but I have a lot of friends so I didn't. I wouldn't say I'm popular by any stretch because I talk to a lot of people, but I'd much rather just keep to myself. I want to date someone but I've really given up on it. I should try more but I just don't have the will or drive to do so. Hanging out. Drinking. Being friendly. But also working. I've had a shitty college made of no social interaction and it didn't even result in a diploma. Don't be that low life shit I am. Go out and party and get drunk and high and then when you have time work. Do both. It's possible and it's surely more worth it than the alternative. Thanking the best teachers I had more. Some of their efforts were beyond what is expected and it is people like them who are our chance for the future. I remember distinctly my sophomore English teacher telling me that I was earnestly good enough to be a writer and now I'm pursuing that dream. A decision that has brought me so much joy. If I could go back and thank her for all she did for me, I would 100 times over. I regret not seeking help for my depression earlier. Instead I dealt with it through self-harm and my arms are covered with scars that I struggle to hide. Drugs. All the drugs. Crime too. I gave way too many ducks. As I later learned. Absolutely nothing you do in high school matters the second you get that diploma. I did a lot of drugs in high school. Skipped all the time. Stole shit from stores on a regular basis. I wish I would have applied myself more. I had a lot of potential and no ducks. I did get my diploma. And on time even with a lot of hard work. But I feel like I missed out on a lot of education and future chances to better my life. Spending a little more time and effort on achieving the grades necessary to gain an entrance scholarship to the university of my choice. I did go to university. Later in life. But my first degree cost me a big student loan. Dating. Like at all. Sophomore in college and still haven't gone up to bat, let alone rounded any of the bases. But I do make bank and classes are a breeze due to spending all of my time computering. So I got that going for me. Which is nice. I regret not taking courses that I was interested in such as music, art, and social sciences. I signed up for courses like physics, chemistry and advanced mathematics in favor of my parents' wishes. I struggled in many of my classes and had very bad grades. That led to low self-esteem, self-doubt and depression. My grades were so low that I wasn't qualified to apply for many programs in college. But everything turned out okay for me in the end. I end up studying design and fine arts later in college and university. I've been working as a creative for the last 15 years and I'm happy now. I wish had pursued my passion earlier though. I also regret wasting my time on bad friendships. There was a girl in my year who was nuts about me. But I didn't figure it out until a few years after graduation. I am not a smart man. In hindsight, I regret not asking her out. Ducking high school girls. There's still time. I had 2 junior girls offer me a threesome my senior year. They were both gymnasts. Super hot. And kinky, for high school at least. I liked another girl and turned them down. Nothing came of my love interest and that decision is of the few things I deeply regret in life. Edit, I now COP is in high school. If 2 people offer you a threesome, say duck yes. Use protection and have fun. Joining more clubs. In college now and probably should be trying more clubs here. But guess what, I'm not trying clubs. Having more casual sex. I don't mean to make it sound like girls were beating my door down or anything. But there were plenty of opportunities that I either didn't take advantage of or was oblivious to at the time. Being part of things. I was bullied so just became so bitter and cold towards everyone. Doesn't help that I was in an emotionally abusive relationship so wasn't allowed to speak to the people I did want to talk to. I missed out on a lot of senior traditions and really alienated myself from everyone.